All right, so welcome to the Deep Dive. Today, we're going to be diving into Google's NotebookLM.
Sounds good.
Yeah. So this is a tool that you seem very interested in learning more about. And you actually sent us this YouTube video that kind of goes through like 12 epic use cases.
Yeah.
So I thought it would be great to have you on so that we can break down some of the cooler parts of this.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm excited to dive in. I am very much, I've been following NotebookLM for a while.
Oh, very cool.
And I've been using it myself. So
yeah,
I'm happy to kind of dive into this video and break it down.
Yeah, well, I'm happy to have you. I mean, this video, there's just a lot of information here, and I feel like it's like one of those like infomercials almost. It's like bam, 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 bam.
Totally.
Like, look at all this cool stuff you can do.
Right.
But I think it would be useful to just kind of like slow down and extract those golden nuggets.
Definitely.
That you're looking for.
I think maybe start off just like, what is NotebookLM?
Yeah.
For folks who may not know.
Yeah, good point. So imagine you have like a super smart research assistant,
Okay.
right? Who not only organizes all your notes and documents, but can actually understand the information inside them.
Okay.
And answer your questions. So that's essentially what NotebookLM is. It's almost like having a conversation.
Right.
With your research.
Yeah, I love that. And it just got even more robust.
Yeah.
With the Gemini 2.0 upgrade.
Yeah.
It's very powerful, the way it processes and understands information.
Yeah. I mean, one of the things that I thought was really cool is the sources that it can handle. So we're not just talking about text documents, like Word docs or Google Docs.
Right.
But we're talking about PDFs, Google Drive files, websites, and even YouTube videos.
Right. That was really interesting. And it can handle up to 50 sources per notebook.
Wow.
So you can really get in-depth and comprehensive in your research.
So imagine you're trying to research a really complex topic, like the future of renewable energy, right? So you could pull in the latest scientific studies, government reports, expert interviews, and like documentaries. Right. All into one notebook.
Totally. And that's kind of where we start to get into some of these more epic use cases that the video kind of goes through.
Yeah, yeah. And one of the first ones that kind of jumped out at me was like the quick summaries.
Yeah, that was cool.
I mean, I don't know about you, but I've definitely struggled
all the time
to kind of like sift through dense research papers.
For sure.
Right.
Or even if you're just trying to quickly like grasp the key points of some article you're reading. Yeah. You don't always have time to read the whole thing.
Right. And so that's where NotebookLM can come in handy because it can essentially condense those, long documents into just the main points.
And it even can generate study guides.
Oh, wow.
With quizzes and key terms.
Oh, that's really cool.
Like they had a cool example where they took this long course transcript.
Oh, wow.
And turned it into like a digestible study guide.
Oh, that's amazing.
Really cool.
Yeah, it's like having an AI study buddy.
Totally.
Who like does all the heavy lifting for you.
Right.
But it's not just about summarizing, right?
No, not at all.
It can actually repurpose information into different formats.
Right.
So let's say, you're trying to understand a historical event.
Okay.
You could feed NotebookLM a Wikipedia article, and then it can create a timeline, visually laying out all the key events.
Yeah, and they even showed how you can use a tool called Napkin AI, which basically creates visual representations of data.
Okay.
So you can take that timeline text and turn it into a presentation-ready graphic.
Wow.
Really cool.
So we're going from text to a timeline to like an actual visual, just a couple clicks.
Makes it easy.
Yeah, it's really streamlining the way we learn and process information.
Right. I mean, another cool thing that I thought was pretty neat is the ability to use YouTube videos as sources.
Oh, yeah.
So, imagine you're learning about a new technology.
Okay.
And you find a bunch of great YouTube videos.
Right.
On the topic. You can actually pull all of those videos.
Okay.
Into a NotebookLM notebook.
Oh, wow.
It's really cool.
That's such a smart way to learn from your favorite creators or experts.
Yeah, it's like you're creating your own personal course.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah, that's a great point.
Which is very cool, very 2024. And it's not just limited to videos either.
Okay.
You can combine those videos with, articles and research papers.
Right.
and to really give yourself a more well-rounded understanding of the topic.
Yeah, so you can really go deep.
Yeah, the possibilities are kind of mind-blowing when you start thinking about, you can create a notebook on really any subject that you can imagine.
Yeah.
And the video even mentions this free resource called the HubSpot prompt book, which gives you tons of ideas for how to get the most out of not only NotebookLM, but just AI chatbots in general.
Oh, I'm definitely going to have to check that out. I love free stuff.
Me too. Me too. One of the features that I think is particularly interesting, especially in our current day and age, is the ability to use voice notes as sources.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point.
I don't know about you, but I'm constantly recording voice notes on my phone.
Oh my gosh. Yes.
But rarely go back to them.
Same.
Yep.
They're just kind of there,
They sit there.
And they sit there.
But NotebookLM actually provides a solution for that, because you can import your voice notes. And it will analyze them. Pull out key information.
Oh, wow.
Summarize the content.
Okay, that's cool.
It's really cool.
So it's almost like having a personal assistant who's like transcribing,
and summarizing your thoughts for you.
Exactly. And the creator of the video, he was talking about how he uses it to kind of keep up with the latest news and updates in the AI world. Which is a constantly moving target. Right?
Yeah.
Things are changing all the time. So he'll record these voice notes throughout the day, and then he has a NotebookLM summarize them. So he basically has this personalized news digest every day.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
And it's specific to the stuff that he cares about.
Right. It's stuff that he's already kind of curated in a way.
Exactly.
Very cool. And, speaking of saving time, imagine you're on a long conference call and you need to capture the key takeaways.
Yeah, that's always a pain.
NotebookLM can actually help you with that as well.
Okay, so how does that work?
So let's say you have a recording of a meeting or a conference call. You can upload that to YouTube, obviously making sure it's unlisted for privacy. But then you use that YouTube link as a source in NotebookLM. Okay.
And it will analyze the audio.
Oh, wow.
And pull out the main points.
So no more frantic note-taking. I can get behind that.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, no more carpal tunnel.
Right. It's a much more efficient way to process information.
Yeah.
And, they had an example in the video where it was a 30-minute recording.
Okay.
And it pulled out the key takeaways in seconds.
Wow.
It was pretty amazing.
That's awesome. So, that's already a lot. We're going from dense research papers to YouTube videos to even voice notes. But I'm curious, what about books? Like, can it analyze a whole book?
Yes. Yes, it can.
Really?
Yeah. So thanks to its large context window, it can process and understand massive amounts of text.
Okay.
In the video, they actually use A Tale of Two Cities as an example. So you can upload the book either as a plain text file or a PDF.
Okay.
And ask NotebookLM to create a concise briefing document.
So for someone like me who loves, classic literature, but sometimes I'm just like, oh, man, that's going to be a commitment to get through that.
Yeah.
This sounds like it would be really helpful.
Right. It really is a game changer for anyone who wants to kind of delve into a book, but might be a little intimidated by its length or complexity.
Yeah.
And what's even cooler is that the briefing document isn't just a static summary.
Okay.
It has these clickable references.
Oh, cool.
That take you to specific sections of the book.
So you can instantly jump to a passage.
Exactly.
That's awesome.
Very cool, right? It's like having an interactive AI-powered study guide for any book that you choose.
That's awesome. I love that. It's like taking the best parts of SparkNotes, but combining them with the ability to instantly reference the original text.
Yep, absolutely.
Now, one thing that I think often comes up when we're talking about access to information globally is language barriers.
Right.
Does NotebookLM address that in any way?
That's a great question, and the video actually touches on this.
Okay.
So, while NotebookLM itself doesn't have built-in translation features, the creator shows how you can easily translate the outputs using a tool called DeepL Translator.
Oh, yeah.
Which is, known for being very accurate and fast.
I've heard good things.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah. So essentially, taking our A Tale of Two Cities example, you could have that briefing document translated into, let's say, Spanish or Chinese.
Yeah, very easily.
In a matter of seconds.
In seconds, yeah.
Wow, that's really cool. Imagine, the possibilities for, students,
right,
researchers, or anyone who wants to access information in their native language.
Totally. It really does help break down those barriers.
Yeah.
And make knowledge more accessible.
Yeah.
Which is great.
That's awesome. Okay, so far we've talked about, summarizing, repurposing, organizing, and even translating information. I'm already pretty impressed, but the video goes on to explore some even more like mind-blowing uses of NotebookLM.
Yeah.
In combination with other AI tools.
Right, and this is where we really start to see the power of AI synergy.
Okay.
Right, like different tools working together to create something new.
Yeah, you got me on the edge of my seat.
Yeah.
What AI magic are we talking about here?
Well, so first off, they demonstrate this audio overview feature.
Okay.
Where NotebookLM can take all of the sources that you've given it and generate a podcast-style discussion.
Hold on, wait. It creates a podcast episode based on my research?
Right.
With, like, different voices talking about the topic?
Yes, exactly.
I gotta hear this to believe it.
Yeah.
Did they actually play, like, an example in the video?
They did. They used the A Tale of Two Cities notebook.
Right.
And they generated this podcast discussion.
Oh.
Now. And they played a snippet of the audio. It was really cool to hear these, AI voices kind of discussing the themes.
That's so cool.
And the characters.
I have a question, though.
Okay.
So if everyone's using NotebookLM to create podcasts, wouldn't they all end up sounding the same?
That's a good point.
Like, is there any way to customize the voices?
Yeah, so that's a really good point. The default NotebookLM voices are a little bit limited.
Okay.
But the creator actually shows how you can personalize the audio using a couple of other AI tools.
Okay, this is where I get a little lost in the technical stuff, so you're going to have to break it down for me.
Yeah, happy to. So first they use a tool called Descript, which is a really cool audio and video editing tool that also does transcription. So you import the NotebookLM podcast audio into Descript.
Okay.
And it separates it into individual tracks for each voice.
Okay.
Right.
So now you have, like, the isolated audio
right
for each speaker.
Exactly.
Okay. And then what?
All right. So then they use 11 Labs, which is a platform for voice cloning.
Oh, okay.
And AI speech generation. And 11 Labs has this feature called Voice Studio.
Okay.
Where you can create multi-track audio projects.
Okay. So I'm seeing where this is going. You take those separated tracks from Descript.
Right.
You import them into 11 Labs. And then you can basically...
You can either use existing AI voices from 11 Labs, or you can even clone your own voice.
Oh, wow.
To replace those default NotebookLM voices.
So I could literally have a podcast where I'm like discussing a topic with a clone of myself.
That's right.
Or like Einstein.
Totally.
Or like, someone else from history.
Exactly.
Oh my God.
And because you have that text transcript from Descript, you can actually go in and edit the dialogue.
Oh, wow.
Before you generate the final audio.
Okay, that's really cool.
Yeah, very powerful.
I can already imagine people creating like all sorts of crazy audio content using this technique. What else did they explore in the video?
Okay, so they don't stop there.
Okay.
They actually show how to use NotebookLM to generate text prompts.
Okay.
For AI video generation.
Hold on. Now we're going from podcasts to videos.
I know.
We're covering a lot of ground.
A lot of ground, but it's very cool. So in the video, they use NotebookLM to create 10 scene prompts based on A Tale of Two Cities.
Okay.
Right. And then they feed those prompts into an AI video generation platform called Sora.
So they're basically using NotebookLM to like storyboard an AI generated video.
Exactly.
That's brilliant.
Really cool. Right?
Yeah. And then for background music, did they just like pull something off of like, Epidemic Sound or?
No, they actually used a tool called Suno.
Okay.
Which creates AI composed music.
Wow.
So it's like you have this full AI production studio.
Right
at your fingertips.
I mean, it's like what's next?
Right.
Like where do we go from here?
Well, the final use case they showcased is truly mind-blowing.
Don't tell me they brought those AI podcasters to life visually.
You guessed it.
Yeah.
They actually took that AI-generated podcast.
Oh, wow.
And added a visual element, creating a video podcast.
Okay.
With virtual avatars.
Whoa. So how'd they manage that?
Well, so they use 11 Labs again.
Okay.
But this time, to clone the creator's voice, to replace that default NotebookLM voice.
Okay.
Then they combine that cloned audio with the the AI-generated video clips from Sora using editing software like CapCut.
Wow. So it's like taking that personalized podcast that we were just talking about, but then giving it like a visual presence with virtual avatars.
Exactly.
That's incredible.
Very cool, right? And the video actually provides a link to a separate tutorial that goes a little deeper into this technique for anyone who wants to try it themselves.
I'm adding that to my to-do list.
Yeah, it's definitely worth checking out.
This whole episode has been a wild ride.
It really has. Yeah. And I think it really highlights the possibilities when you start to combine these different AI tools.
Yeah.
We're really seeing like a whole new era of content creation kind of unfold.
Yeah. I mean, it's amazing to think that you can go from like a simple idea to a fully produced video podcast.
Right.
Using AI. It feels like we're just scratching the surface.
Absolutely. And the most exciting part is that these tools are becoming more and more accessible every day.
Yeah.
So it's really empowering anyone to create and share their ideas in new and innovative ways.
So looking back at everything we've talked about so far, what stands out to you as like the most impactful aspect of NotebookLM?
I think for me, it's the way it transforms our relationship with information.
Okay.
We're no longer passive consumers. We can actively engage with knowledge, synthesize it, repurpose it in ways that were unimaginable just a few years ago.
I totally agree. And it's not just about like speed or efficiency. Wow. It's about like deepening our understanding and unlocking like new levels of creativity.
Exactly.
And I think it's important to remember that these AI tools are meant to like augment human capabilities, not replace them.
Exactly.
They're powerful tools that can help us, explore new ideas and express ourselves in more dynamic ways. It's about that synergy between human creativity and AI capabilities.
Absolutely. I think it's a really exciting time to be a learner, a creator, and someone who is just curious about the future of information.
I couldn't have said it better myself. Well, listeners, we hope you enjoyed this deep dive into the world of NotebookLM. It's a tool with incredible potential.
Definitely.
And we encourage you to, explore it for yourselves.
Yeah, don't be afraid to experiment and see where your curiosity leads you.
Yeah. And who knows, maybe we'll create the next viral video podcast.
That's right.
Using NotebookLM. We can't wait to see what you come up with. And until next time, happy exploring. This is incredible. From dense research papers to YouTube videos to voice notes, NotebookLM can handle it all. But I'm curious, what about books? Can it analyze a whole book?
You bet it can. Thanks to its large context window, NotebookLM can process and understand massive amounts of text. The video uses A Tale of Two Cities as an example. You can upload the book either as a plain text file or PDF and ask NotebookLM to create a concise briefing document.
That sounds pretty amazing. I'm a big fan of classic literature, but sometimes those books can be a real commitment. Being able to get a quick overview, that would be super helpful.
It really is a game changer for anyone who wants to delve into a book but may be intimidated by its length or complexity. And here's what's even cooler. The briefing document isn't just a static summary. It includes clickable references that take you to specific sections in the book.
So you could instantly jump to a particular passage or chapter that's relevant to what you're reading in the summary.
Exactly. It's like having an interactive AI-powered study guide for any book you choose.
I love that. It's like taking the best parts of SparkNotes and combining them with the ability to instantly reference the original text. Now, one thing that often comes up when we're talking about global access to information is language barriers. Does NotebookLM address that in any way?
That's a great question, and the video actually does touch on this. While NotebookLM itself doesn't have built-in translation features, the creator shows how you can easily translate the outputs using a tool called DeepL Translator.
I've heard of DeepL. It's known for being really accurate and fast. So, taking our A Tale of Two Cities example, you could have that briefing document translated into, say, Spanish or Chinese in just a few seconds.
That's right. Imagine the possibilities for students, researchers, or anyone who wants to access information in their native language. It really breaks down those barriers and makes knowledge more accessible.
Okay, so far we've covered summarizing, repurposing, organizing, and even translating information. I have to say, I'm already super impressed. But the video doesn't stop there. It goes on to explore some really mind-blowing uses of NotebookLM in combination with other AI tools.
This is where things get really interesting. We're starting to see the true power of AI synergy, where different tools can work together to create something entirely new.
Okay, I'm on the edge of my seat. What kind of AI magic are we talking about here?
Well, the first thing they demonstrate is the audio overview feature. Basically, NotebookLM can take all the sources you've given it and generate a podcast-style discussion.
Wait, hold on. It creates an actual podcast episode based on my research, complete with different voices discussing the topic.
Exactly. It's pretty remarkable. And the voices are surprisingly human-like.
I have to hear this to believe it. Did they actually play an example in the video?
They did. They used the A Tale of Two Cities notebook and generated a podcast discussion. They even played a snippet of the audio. And it was fascinating to hear these AI voices discussing the book's themes and characters.
That's so cool. But I have a question. If everyone's using NotebookLM to create podcasts, wouldn't they all end up sounding the same? Can you customize the voices?
That's a really good point. The default NotebookLM voices are somewhat limited, but the video creator shows that you can personalize the audio using a combination of other AI tools.
Okay, this is where I get lost in the technical details. Can you break it down for me?
Sure. First, they use a tool called Descript, which is an audio editing tool that also does transcription. You import the NotebookLM podcast audio into Descript, and it separates it into individual tracks for each voice.
So you essentially have the isolated audio for each speaker. Then what?
Then they use 11 Labs, which is a platform for voice cloning and AI speech generation. 11 Labs has this feature called Voice Studio, where you can create multi-track audio projects.
Okay, so I'm seeing where this is going. You import those separated audio tracks from Descript into 11 Labs, and then
you can either use existing AI voices from 11 Labs or even clone your own voice to replace those default NotebookLM voices.
Wow, so you could literally have a podcast where you're discussing a topic with a clone of yourself, or maybe even Einstein or some other historical figure.
Precisely. And because you have the text transcript from Descript, you can even go in and edit the dialogue before generating the final audio.
This is next level stuff. I can already imagine people creating all sorts of incredible audio content using this technique. What else did they explore in the video?
Well, they didn't stop at podcasts. They also showed how to use NotebookLM to generate text prompts for AI video generation.
Hold on, podcasts to videos now. We're covering a lot of ground here.
I know. It's amazing, right? In the video, they used NotebookLM to create 10 scene prompts based on A Tale of Two Cities. Then they fed those prompts into an AI video generation platform called Sora.
So they're basically using NotebookLM to create a storyboard for an AI-generated video. That's brilliant.
Oh. It really is.
Yeah.
And for the background music, they used a tool called Suno, which creates AI-composed music.
It's like having a full-blown AI production studio at your fingertips. I'm curious, what's next?
Well, the final use case they showcased is truly mind-blowing.
Don't tell me they brought those AI podcasters to life visually.
Yeah, you guessed it. They took that AI-generated podcast and added a visual element, creating a video podcast.
Okay.
With virtual avatars.
Whoa. How'd they manage that?
They used 11 Labs again.
Okay.
This time to clone the creator's voice, replacing that default NotebookLM voice.
Okay.
Then they combined that cloned audio with the AI-generated video clips from Sora using editing software like CapCut.
Wow, so it's like taking that personalized podcast we were just talking about, but then giving it like a visual presence?
Yes.
With virtual avatars?
Exactly.
That's incredible.
Pretty cool. Yeah. Right? And the video actually provides a link to a separate tutorial that goes a little deeper into this technique for anyone who wants to try it themselves.
Oh, wow. I'm adding that to my to-do list.
Yeah. It's definitely worth checking out.
This whole episode has been a wild ride.
It really has. You know, and I think it really highlights the possibilities when you start to combine these different AI tools.
Yeah.
You know, we're really seeing like a whole new era of content creation kind of unfold.
Yeah, I mean, it's amazing to think that you can go from like a simple idea to a fully produced video podcast. Right. Using AI, it feels like we're just scratching the surface.
Absolutely. And the most exciting part is that these tools are becoming more and more accessible every day.
Yeah.
So it's really empowering anyone to create and share their ideas in new and innovative ways.
So looking back at everything we've talked about so far, what stands out to you as like the most impactful aspect of NotebookLM?
You know, I think for me, it's the way it transforms our relationship with information. You know, we're no longer passive consumers. We can actively engage with knowledge, synthesize it, repurpose it in ways that were unimaginable just a few years ago.
I totally agree. And it's not just about like speed or efficiency. It's about like deepening our understanding,
right,
and unlocking like new levels of creativity.
Exactly.
And I think it's important to remember that these AI tools are meant to like augment human capabilities,
right,
not replace them.
Exactly.
They're powerful tools that can help us, explore new ideas and express ourselves in more dynamic ways.
Totally.
It's about that synergy between human creativity and AI capabilities.
Absolutely. I think it's a really exciting time to be a learner, a creator, and someone who is just curious about the future of information.
I couldn't have said it better myself. Well, listeners, we hope you enjoyed this deep dive into the world of NotebookLM. It's a tool with incredible potential. And we encourage you to, explore for yourselves.
Yeah, don't be afraid to experiment and see where your curiosity leads you.
Yeah. And who knows, maybe you'll create the next viral video podcast.
That's right.
Using NotebookLM. We can't wait to see what you come up with. And until next time, happy exploring.